Hey Isaac, what are you writing?
I'm taking a little break and writing postcards like I do a couple of times a week. Just when I'm writing to Sam, just to say hey and to check in with him about some facts on giant spider crabs. And I just finished up writing Zanaya to tell her thank you. She did some things to help us at BDS with our reading goals. She's helping us make some Spanish language books and things like that. And I wanted to write a little something to her about how hard we've seen her work and focus. And I was doing all that because I got a little tired from writing to revise. I've been giving our colleague Amber some feedback and helping her, to kind of work on her structure as an author. So even though she's written this, I've written a lot of thoughts and tried to restructure some of her writing. But that's exhausting, so I wanted to just write to express myself and to communicate with someone for a little bit. That's good.
Isaac, what are you writing now?
Well, I'm writing a few things. I'm writing to take notes on some of John Van de Waal et al.'s thoughts on mathematics for a couple of teachers I'm working with. And I am also writing to kind of summarize his big ideas. And then some of the thoughts are my own. So it's kind of a combination of trying to review key details, to summarize as I go, and to synthesize some new thoughts in some ways that I think may be more clear to share these ideas with people. So this is going to help me do my job, and the more I write it, the more clearly I'm able to think through it.
Isaac, what are you writing about now?
I am responding to the very last of my feedback forms from a recent guided reading training. So I had people do a 3-2-1, 3 actions they will take, 2 ideas that they will share with a colleague, and then 1 question they still have. So in writing this, they kind of, I hope, made it more real for themselves. They get these back as soon as I'm done with this. But the questions, I respond to each of them personally, and I'm also responding in a bigger document that they can all access. So it'll be kind of like a frequently asked questions, and in my dream world, something that people will continue to go back to and add to and revise, and in the end, we will all know more than we do now, and that's all through us writing to share our thinking and to ask and answer questions about what we're learning.
Isaac, are you still writing?
Well, I've come to my lonely writer's garret and sat down, and as all writers do, I am painstakingly brainstorming on a circle mat so that I can then record my thoughts on a modified flow map so that I can then write a rough draft of my story, which I can then make a few changes to and completely rewrite, and then move on in the next week to another story. Psych. All but one of those are ways that I have authentically written today. I've also answered emails, I've written emails, I wrote up a plan for a couple of different students for like a behavior plan, things like that. And all of this has been to make the point that there are many ways that we write, and that writing is about composing and sharing thinking and discovering our own thinking, and not about a process. That's why you'll notice on your midterms there is not a box for what kind of writing you've done or anything like that. This first 9 weeks we want you to spend developing students' ability to compose their own thoughts, to revise those thoughts, to improve how well they communicate them, and of course to edit what they've done, and not to focus on any one type of writing. We're hoping that if we spend the first 9 weeks learning to be writers, then excuse me, as we focus on opinion, narrative, and informational writing, we will be able to focus on ourselves as writers who write those forms instead of just on writing those forms. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm always here to help, and even though I haven't spent a ton of time on this with a lot of you, writing is my #1 expertise.